Welcome to the American Sevens Football League. This is the Wednesday Hangover. I'm Ryan DePaul, the commissioner, with your host John Daly, and we're going to go over some of the history that's leading into our 11th season in 2016. We're going to talk about some of the physics of this game, some of the legends that got us here, some post-champions, and our expansion plan and the future of the American Sevens Football League.
Going into our 11th season, let's rewind back in time here and a decade ago and talk about why. Tell us why, Ryan. Why did you come up with this league?
This was nothing more than my own desperation to still play this game at a high level. High school was over. I got concussions in college. I couldn't play anymore. I got cut from arena football, and there was nothing more that I wanted than to still play football. I never thought it would come to this. I never thought it would get this big. But the one thing that I did know, there was other people out there like me that still wanted to play this game at a high level.
You go back and you think about that, and then you look at where we're at now, and it's like, you know, at one point we had the interstate game against Florida. Tell us about that. Tell us how that happened and how you put that whole thing together, what year it was. I think it was 3 or 4 years down the road. I'm not too sure, but please tell us.
Those guys piled in a 16-passenger van and drove up from Tampa Bay, Florida, and played 4 games in 2 days. And that's when all these things started to come about. You know, Channel 12 was there. The Star Ledger came out. That's when it really started to feel like, hey, people are taking notice. You know, this game's entertaining. A lot more people want to play this type of football. It's a respected style of football across the whole world because we don't play with pads. And in other countries, they can identify with that. You don't need, you just need a ball. You know, in some of these third world countries, of course they can play soccer. They could just pick up a ball and go play.
Right.
But they couldn't play American football because they didn't have shoulder pads and helmets.
Right.
Now, all they need is a football.
Yeah, you're right.
I really think this could be an Olympic sport someday. I don't see why it couldn't. It's a very exciting game. It's American football crossed with rugby. No need for pads. The youth can start learning anytime they want.
Right.
And that's it.
Okay, so we just rewound back a decade ago. Now let's fast forward to the present time when it was Town Beef. Now it's A7. What is that transition? What does that mean? What's the name? What's the difference? Tell us more about that, please.
Originally the league was Town Beef, and the reason behind that name is, simple. You had these crosstown rivalries, throughout Pop Warner, throughout high school, and they sort of survived through our league.
Right.
You had one town against another town, and it just made sense. And you had some of your buddies you played high school football with, and you bring them in, you're playing against another town. It just made sense.
Right.
As this thing started to progress, as this thing started to grow, it was time for a rebranding, so to say. So we rebranded it under the American Sevens Football League. So the American Sevens Football League is going to bring this to another level. And Town Beef, as it previously existed, is going to become a division within the American Sevens Football League. Almost a legacy division, if you will, of teams that have been here from the start, players that have been here from the start, and it's almost going to form a rivalry within our league. Some of these new teams, like the Baltimore Cobras, are an American Sevens divisional team that played against Town Beef teams last year.
Right. Okay, well, I couldn't wait to bring this up, but are you telling me that there is an NFL prospect that came from this league?
I mean, it sounds unbelievable. From the first time that I saw this gentleman take the field and his abilities and the things that he was able to do, I know it sounded silly then when I was telling people, like, this kid's special. He could really do something. When you watch this kid and what he's able to do, I don't care if he was doing it against cones. He's fast. He's got great vision. He's got breakaway speed. In my mind, it was only a matter of when, not if. So he played for a small school out in West Virginia. I think they had him playing safety at first. This is after he played in the Town Beef League. And now he's going to have his NFL Pro Day in March. 16 teams are interested in him.
Wow.
He's running a 4.31.
And that is incredible. I know that, a lot of people that watch the sport, they see round 1, round 2 drafted and whatnot, and they don't pay attention too much to the undrafted free agents or something like that along those lines. That's a big thing. To even represent the NFL on a practice squad, you have to understand how big of a thing that is. A lot of people don't understand that because they just watch the sport. They don't understand all the technicalities of it, what goes into it, and what you have to do, the percentage of even getting into something like that. And not only that, to come from here and bring this name, he can bring, and God bless him that he makes it as far as he possibly can. If this kid makes an NFL team, this is going to be a whole new thing.
It's the Cinderella story.
Yeah.
It's the Rocky Balboa story.
Yes.
It's the, what's the movie that Mark Wahlberg did in Philadelphia?
Oh, and Invincible.
It's the Invincible story. Every time this kid touches the ball, there's no doubt in his mind that he's going to score a touchdown.
Correct.
Okay? And we had a chance to catch up with him this past weekend. Let's roll
Perfect.
the tape
Let's
on
hear
that.
It's just so crazy, and it's like nothing stopped me from working out. I tore my MCL, I was back in the gym 4 days later. I got shot, I was back in the gym 3 days later. I missed this game right here. If I wasn't in college, this is where I'd be at right here, man. It's just so crazy to see these guys getting ready, man. Just signed with my agent, and I got a lot of stuff coming up. Talked to a lot of NFL teams, Now it's just a run, man. It's like a road to glory now, but nothing will stop me from overcoming what I have to be in life. My journey started in Kansas in 2010, 2011. I went up there, man. I was on the track scholarship. It was hard. And, I got in trouble and I failed out. And I was back in Trenton where I'm from, man, and I was just in so much trouble in the streets. It was hard getting support. I love my family, but it was like, it was only me there and me and my little brother. And, my dad died in 2013. That motivated me so much. Over the summer I had trained myself to run 4.31, and when I get in that open field, I feel like if you give me some space, you're not gonna catch me. Nobody's gonna catch me. Nobody's gonna catch me. It's a wrap. It's over. I did it this year, but I'm not bragging. I'm just saying it's my speed. I trusted my speed. That's my game. Speed is my game, and speed kills with me. You're not catching me, man. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
A couple guys from, Sam actually stopped by, dropped these off in my garage. He knew we were shooting the show tonight, and thanks. They're first.
Hey, I'm not a beer drinker, but I will tell you
what do
that
you think? How do you like
the winter lager is not bad. They really do they do a good job.
I mean,
Not gonna lie, I'm not a beer drinker, so
we're out here in New Jersey, right?
I think this is New Jersey.
We only have winter once a year,
Right.
and it's when Sam comes.
Yeah.
He brings winter lager, right? We've had so many great teams pass through here, so many great athletes, so many different offenses and defensive schemes. I'm excited to talk about whatever matchup you got for me, Deli.
You're not ready for the one I'm giving you, and I'm starting it off right. Even though this team made me sick to my stomach that they came together, they still ran through everybody, and with no dispute whatsoever, they absolutely just destroyed everybody that they played, and they were uncontested. Obviously, they went all the way, and it was just a joke. But let's get into that. I have the 2013 SWG team.
Don't tell me against who yet.
Okay.
Because let me validate his claims for this 2013 SWG team that you're so mad about.
It was like watching an all-star team. It really was.
And you got somebody in mind to take these guys down?
I do, and this is a rough one. I don't know who you're gonna pick, but I have the 2009 Bombers, which I believe, sir, you were a part of. So you could tell us a little bit more about that team as well.
I mean, right away, there's some similarities from the team that just won the last 2 championships, which is the U. There's a lot of chemistry that the Bombers had in 2009 that helped them to win that championship. I mean, they punted twice the whole season. Their defense was insane. They scored every time they had the ball on offense with probably one of the most ridiculous backfields. It is the most ridiculous backfield I've ever seen. You got Mike Knight out on the one wing, double threat. The guy can just, score anytime he touches the ball, whether he gets a handoff or he runs a post route, whatever it is. You had Rasheem the Dream at the other wing. The backfield was stacked. You had Poor, who was just a mean bastard at fullback. And, I quarterbacked that team, but with a backfield like that, I can't even say that, that I was, anything to worry about.
That's debatable.
But anyway, to play, I say we take down that SWG 2013 team methodically because, they might get a couple things off. I mean, Agent Zero was just a force to be reckoned with. We've seen what ST's done. Moosepit is probably, one of the most clutch players of all time. It would be a hell of a matchup, but I think the Bombers 2009, being more disciplined, being more methodical, and never thinking for a second they were out of any game.
Mike Knight and Rasheem the Dream, it's unbelievable. I suggest that anybody who has not played against these guys, go back and look at some of the film on this backfield, on this team that we're talking about, so you can contest whether or not who's right. But I'm going to say that SWG is going to win that game, and that's based on they had that new style to them where they can adjust. And dude, ST on any team just completely makes them a competitor. And you don't stop there at ST. You have Mo, you have Pure Skills, you have P Gunna. They had all their best players, Agent Zero, all their best players. I'm sorry, man, I don't agree with you. I think SWG takes that one. It may be a close one, but I think SWG takes that one.
Any contact sport, almost any sport, is a dangerous game. There's no doubt about it. There's only one argument that I make when I speak on our sport and compare it to the similar sport where they wear the helmet. And that's not that you won't get hit in the face, that you won't get hit in the head. It's the repetition of blows that you receive when you're wearing a helmet. Even the small ones, when you're in practice, we're in practice today.
Right.
It's Tuesday. We're not even going full speed, but we're practicing jamming.
Right.
We're practicing shedding blocks.
Right.
Those incidental, those accumulating blows to the head, even if they're only this hard, if you sat down here and you banged yourself in the head for 2 hours, okay, you'd be fucked up.
Yeah, no,
right?
I agree.
That's why boxers only fight once a year.
Right, that's a fact.
The jabs, they all add up.
Yeah, of
when
course.
you play in our game, and this is the safer segment, by the way, is what I'm trying to explain to you, the only guarantee that I'm going to make you. Those repetitive shots to the head, they almost don't exist. You can almost play an entire game without getting touched in your face or your head, because the guy on the other side of the ball doesn't want a broken nose. He doesn't want to lose his teeth. This will be an Olympic sport. And I don't know if I'll still be alive when it is, but I'm telling you, this is a great game. Football's always been a great game.
Of course.
It's just
How could it not be?
It's just that the problem is, in third world countries, these kids can't just play football. Okay? They don't have access to helmets. They don't have shoulder pads. And all they need is a ball. Just like soccer.
That's all you need.
Just need a football.
Now they can. See that? Making the world a better place.
This fraternity, this group, what unites us, this purity for a game that we love. And really, it's combat. We love the combat.
Right.
We
Love
love the physicality. It's in our blood.
Love it. Yeah, it's passion. Man.
People want to
It's passion.
compete, and that's what we're doing.
Yeah,
so,
that's it. And it's safer. And it's a lot safer. And that's a fact. It's a lot safer because I remember playing as a safety, as a corner and whatnot. I sustained a lot of head damage leading with my head because I was a sick animal at that time.
With pads.
Yes, I'm talking about
we just want to let the audience know.
I'm talking about with pads, obviously.
About,
no, never. No. Town Beef A7. That's my second career. So when I was
a lot of guys.
Yeah, of course. And guess what? It's better. I'm better. I'm healthier. I'm not sustaining head injuries anymore. I would sustain 3 head injuries a game. I used to leave with my head. Like John Lynch, like Steve Atwater, they all used to. That's what we were used to growing up. That was the way to do it, to really put somebody down, was head to head. I got in this league, it changed everything for me. You're not going to lead with your head and your face. You have to wrap up. And you know what? You have to be a sure tackler. And it's a lot safer to be a sure tackler because you're not, just diving at somebody with your head, and I have nothing to protect me anyway on top of it, so it would have just been bad news. So I'm glad that there is something like this, because it's keeping us safer, and maybe it's something for the youth down the road, and I can't wait to see it progress into something like that for the kids. You know what I mean?
We're going to get into that in some of our later episodes this season, and we're going to talk about how we're going to implement this at the youth level.
I'm excited for that part.
And we're going to change this game. We're going to save this game. That's what we're going to do. And I got to be honest with you, Deli. There's not a day that goes by that I'm not saying I want to be back out there. I'm going to be 37 next year. People say you're crazy. What are you going to play football for? I'm not on the corner doing drugs.
Yeah, right.
I love this game.
Yeah, gotta love it.
I love this.
How could you not love it? How could you not love this? Everything that we're talking about. How could you not love this? Honestly,
it's great.
It's great, man. This is our thing. This is our thing.
That's right. I can't wait for next year, man. 2016.
This is our thing. I'm pumped. I'm pumped. Tune in. I'm pumped.
Some of the things that you're going to catch next week. Team from Essex County called the Savage out of New Jersey, and how they've been knocking on that door since 2013 and have just been so unlucky. The talent that's passed through there, the athletes, I don't want to get too much. We're going to go into Union City. We're going to talk to Andrew Pilato, who's probably one of the baddest guys.
Oh, yeah.
One of the biggest
That's going to be a good one. That's going to be a good one. He's not a pain in the ass to me. I personally like him, but I know what Ryan's saying, and I get it, man. He's a real menace. He's a menace in this league, and I love every minute of it, but we're going to talk about that next week.
We're going to talk about the top 5 receivers of all time.
That should be exciting.
We're going to go more into what we call youth mode, as we said before. We're going to talk about some more legends, and we'll have our champion features, where we're going to talk about the U out of Paterson, New Jersey. I can't wait for 2016. Tune in Wednesday night, 8 o'clock, A7FL.TV for your live broadcast. I'm Ryan DePaul.
I'm John Daly. We'll see you next week.